English news and
and a Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, my lovely audience. Welcome to the East-West Show. Jack Chow on the East-West Show, which is exclusively sponsored by Wolfers, the Belgian royal family designated brand of jewelry with 400 years of glorious history and handforged by 10 generations of the master craftsmen on the global earth. Altogether, the name Wolfers stand for and a testimony to the spectacular and the share of the royal glory. To the show. Today with me is my dear friend, Mr. Ken Hemming, a political commentator for the bi-weekly update. And of course, a political commentator or special commentator, whichever you may, is only one of the titles he has. Yet in the meantime, he, even though a CPA for life, he is an author himself. He has authored a wonderful book, Life is Simple, 100 Words to Live By, which is my Bible. I love it. And the best part is that it is bilingual. It's page by page, Chinese versus American, Chinese versus American. And that in many areas can be used for a textbook.
It's very, very handy
English
for that.
study.
Yes.
And he did it not only for his own daughter and granddaughter, but for the immigrants' children who come to the United States. I mean, the Chinese Americans fighting between English and Chinese. And thank you for that. And in the meantime, he is a active member of the community, and he's a dear friend of this show, the East-West. And a few weeks ago, we celebrated his victory, his landmark of, milestone of having finished 250 shows a few weeks ago.
I'm so proud of that, Jack. Thank you for your tolerance, allowing me to be a part of EDI's family. Thank Mr. Sue, and it's a great honor in my life to be with you and your viewers.
I love my tolerance.
Yeah, appreciate it.
How about that?
Thank you.
How about that?
That's beautiful.
All right, good, very good. So back to the show. Today, what do you want to talk about for our bi-weekly update?
Well, Jack, I think there's an overwhelming issue to discuss. As long as we could talk about it nonstop for a week. But today is December 18th, 2019. It is the day that will impact America in ways that can't even be conceived of. I want to highlight, I'm wearing my American flag tie, and I have it untied because it's hanging at half-mast. Because of the sadness I feel, the tragedy I feel. This is the day where the radical leftists up in Congress are going to vote to impeach President Trump for obstruction of Congress and abuse of power, both of which are nebulous, cannot be defined. And let me say this, the impact of this today will be even as great as the impact of Pearl Harbor, when the Japanese killed about 3,000.
That's how much you weigh it.
Well, now let me say why. Because what happened, the impact with Pearl Harbor is it united America into a tremendous committed power that then was able to fight the Axis, Germany, Italy, and Japan, and bring peace back to the world. This activity, which is it's only by the partisan leftist radicals in Congress to impeach the president, just increases the divide in America, which is very dangerous. What they are doing was not conceived at all by the founding fathers in terms of what impeachment was, and it needed to be bipartisan. It had to be high crimes and misdemeanors, and they were really planning on impeaching President Trump, no matter if there's anything to impeach him on, even before he was elected, and certainly as soon as he was elected. Even before he was sworn in, they were planning to impeach him. And Nancy Pelosi stated that. So,
All right.
so this is going to be a divide in America that is going to have incredible impact. We don't know what it will be yet.
All right. Thank you for your statement. Of course, I don't like the impeachment myself either. But I have never waited that much. It is only. I mean, I thought that was a partisan fight at all, and that's it. As for impact, though, I was so surprised to see that you waited as to an extent that causes somebody to wear his tie half-mast.
Right. That's why I did.
And that indicated serious enough. And secondly, you indicated that its impact as much as Pearl Harbor attack by the Japanese to the United States.
Yes, because rather than uniting, it's dividing. Okay,
like
the
I said,
impact
like
will be
I said,
incredible.
the prerequisite is that I dislike the impeachment myself. And later, I will explain why I dislike it. But I have to ask you in details
Yes, sir.
to give me the reason why you wait that much. For example, to say it is impacting United States as much as Pearl Harbor, why? How come?
I think right now we are, the radical leftists in our Congress are actually performing sort of a non-violent, although they do endorse Antifa, which is a violent extension, a non-violent coup to reverse the election where 63 million people voted for President Trump. The citizens of America are those that are supposed to elect our leadership, okay? And they want to reverse that. And then and we've had impeachments before, like with Clinton, Bill Clinton, that he had done things lied to our Congress and all people in America, directly on TV and under oath. So there was a reason, and it was very bipartisan then. I mean, the Democrats and the Republicans, worked together. Here is nothing bipartisan. There is no crime. There is no misdemeanor. They say there is, but they're defining it based on their obsession with blind hatred for our president. And so the impact in dividing the country more is extremely, right now, immeasurable, but it's very threatening to our civility.
So you're saying that the impact being similar to Pearl Harbor lies in the fact that it divides the United States furthermore.
And does not unite us. Yeah,
All right.
So it does the opposite of what Pearl Harbor's impact on America was glorious because, we were killed, some of our people.
Just speaking of that impact, though, after that impact, United States became even united, even more
totally
united.
Committed,
Yeah,
willing to die.
We're totally, and everybody forgot. Well, just to drop off their partisan line.
There was no Democrat, no Republican.
There's no
in World War
nothing.
II.
There's only Americans, right?
Right. Yes,
so
sir.
they became united ever.
Right.
Right. So that impact, of course, by philosophy, that pushed America forward. So when you're talking about this impact, does the opposite way divide the United States, right? So,
strongly, very strongly.
And
Well,
why do you see that?
Well, just look at the polls. What the Democrats had, in my opinion, this is only my opinion, but it's well thought out, well studied, and I will live and die for my opinion on this. They knew they wanted to impeach him, and so they did everything they could possibly to find a crime, and first they tried the Russia collusion. We blew $30 million with Mueller trying to look for a crime with collusion with Russia.
The Russian investigation found nothing, right?
I know. We blew $30 million for nothing. In Mueller and all those people, they knew it from the start. It wouldn't find anything.
So
okay.
That page is over.
Well, they keep talking about it. Also,
No, as a matter of fact, it's not over. Because of my money spent in there.
Oh yeah, no, we paid for it. We paid for a farce.
Yeah, your money too.
Yeah, we burned cash.
Yeah,
we burned
taxpayers' money
Right.
wasted.
Your money.
In the investigation, which found nothing.
And then they go,
All right.
trying to put fear in all of our citizens that, well, we're going to have an economic recession. That didn't last very well, and our particular economy right now has never been this strong. It's unbelievably strong in terms of low unemployment, the stock market's at new highs, new jobs available, and also then at the same time, the same day that the House of Representatives voted to move the impeachment to the Senate, that the phase one of the China trade deal was announced, and also the U.S. MCA, United States, Mexico, and Canada, was announced. And so, well, Trump is under unbelievable attack, and I wish I was him, because myself, when I'm under great attack, I only get stronger, and he gets stronger than I could get stronger. He just ignores it and serves the people. So then they went to recession. So that went nowhere. Then they go to bribery. Oh, he's bribing. They talk about bribery for a couple weeks. And in the two articles of impeachment, there's no mention of bribery.
Let's take a moment now. We come back, continue. We'll count it one by one to see what exactly have been found out to go this much further, right?
Yes, sir.
So, my dear friends, today with me is my dear friend Ken Hemming. We are on the bi-weekly update. For the update of today, of course, the subject on top is the impeachment. I would say it is on top of everything. I would say across the world, it is a headline. Headline.
It's the headline.
All right. Let's be back after this little break.
Everything expected, straight. It's like seeing John Wayne.
My name is Paul James. I'm host of English News here in
And a Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, lovely audiences, my dear brothers and sisters, my dear fellow Americans. Welcome back to the East West, which is exclusively sponsored by Wolfers, the Belgian royal family designated brand of jewelry with 400 years of glorious history and hand-forged by 10 generations of the master craftsmen of the global earth. The name of Wolfers together stands for a testimony to the spectacular and the share of the royal glory. Back to the show. With Mr. Ken Hemming, commentator, we are talking about, in the bi-weekly update, the impeachment of President Donald Trump. We're at a point of talking about what we have heard from the news about the investigation so far, what had it found out. So back to Kim, the Russian investigation.
That was a fiasco.
Right. And the bribery. Oh, you were at the bribery.
Yeah, right. Bribery, and then they're right now back to supposedly an improper threat to the Ukraine. Now, what the reality too on the Ukrainian situation is, President Trump he's a very smart fellow. Okay, so he puts out the details of the conversation, in writing. And which exactly takes everything away from when they say he threatened to do this or that, because there was no quid pro quo or whatever in there. And also, they about holding money back from the Ukraine. All the money has been delivered, and part of it had been delivered already. And Ukraine has not opened any investigation on Hunter Biden and his deeds that perhaps are not very clean cut. So everything they're looking for a crime desperately, and they're There isn't one. President Trump is really like our first businessman that's a president. The other guys have been pretty much politicians, and politicians are more subject to the monetary needs from lobbyists and whatever and supporters of them. And President Trump hasn't taken, he doesn't need the money, and he gives his salary away. He gets $4 a year for doing instead of his $400.
You do when you mention about the fact that he doesn't need the money though.
He doesn't need it. He's lost money.
Why would the bribery work?
Oh, good question. Well, I guess they're trying to say bribery on behalf of America. There was no bribery.
Or is it favorism for better?
Well, in our president's situation, there was no exertion. His job is to look for things that for corruption and protect America against corruption. And before he was elected, he said part of his agenda was, myself, I think we give too much foreign aid. That so much of it just gets stolen by the places we give it to, and it also doesn't go for the use. We gave all this money to Haiti, and none of it went to rebuild it. It just sucks in corruption. So he's looking at country by country how much aid we give and should we give it. Why give it to someone if there's no benefit to us?
So the bribery and the favorism did not exist.
No.
As a result of the investigation, right?
No.
All right. So when it comes to conclusion of the two major accounts,
Yes, sir.
obstruction, abuse of power,
And abuse of power.
obstruction
Of Congress.
These two, right? These two.
Yeah.
So let's say abuse
They're
of
not
power.
crimes. There's no crime.
Abuse of power, right? I have scheduled a show for next Monday.
Yes, sir.
With a wonderful attorney. I will find out some definitions of abuse of power.
Well, I mean, I could come back with 10 abuses of power, in my opinion, from Obama's administration in things he did with executive orders and whatever that, in my opinion, are abusive. But abusive like that is not a crime. It's not a crime.
Before my Monday show with an attorney, though,
Yeah.
let me ask you. I know you have no legal ground yourself, though. But to your common sense,
Yeah.
just exactly as a Ken Hemming,
Yes, sir.
Do you think to force or to use some leverage on foreign policies is a crime or misdemeanor or something wrong?
It's a normal inter-country relationship of negotiation and evolution. You have to coerce each other to help each other. I'm sure, we're, with all, like with North Korea, look what we're doing too. I mean, so no, it's not a crime. It's running the country in a way to protect the citizens of America, and all the other countries are doing the same. Like Trump goes for America first, and he says clearly, I want France to think France first, England to think England first, and all of the countries, their leader should be putting their country first.
Let's take our time.
Yeah.
My principle is that either I don't do it,
Yeah.
or I do it 100%.
Yes, sir.
I get it done.
So you're committed to your principles.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
My principle, let's find out. Why Hunter Biden was assigned on that job position. Right. Let me ask you, give me the answer as much as you can.
Right.
Right. So was Hunter an expert in the oil business?
See, he was given a board membership on Burisma, which the Ukraine has notoriously been a corrupt country. Their new president is trying to minimize the corruption that exists there. And Burisma has been a very known corrupt organization in the energy industry. And when you have an existing Vice President, Joe Biden, of the United States in office, and then you pay his son, $60,000, $80,000 a month.
Yeah, let's move slowly.
Yes.
Let's move slowly.
Yeah.
One by one. I'm looking for the answer. Is Hunter Biden an expert in the oil industry?
Not at all.
Not at all,
Not
right?
at all.
But,
No experience.
The reason I'm asking
I know more
was
about it.
exactly that there was one interview when he was asked.
Yes, sir.
When he was asked,
Yeah.
how much do you know about the oil business?
Right, yeah.
I'm forgetting his exact word. It's not a quote-unquote
Yeah.
situation. He says roughly that he doesn't say, I know, I do not know, yes or no.
Yeah.
He says, I don't think I know more than anybody else on the board.
And that's just spinning the truth that he doesn't know anything very much.
And the fact that he doesn't know.
And he did admit this. He said,
Okay, now, my second question
Yes, sir.
to it though, for somebody like me, I know nothing about the chemistry myself,
okay,
right? To make me a department of
you're right.
of chemical lab,
Yeah, chemical research.
research institute.
Right.
Right. So, do you think it is possible?
Not unless there's some very poor management.
If
you know,
so-
they might love you.
If somebody, if somebody did do that,
Yeah.
so does that cause some suspicion behind?
Well, Hunter Biden admitted, Joe Biden's son admitted that he does not think he would have had that opportunity to make lots of money if his name wasn't Biden,
I recall
if he
he did
wasn't
say
the
that.
son. Yeah, he
He
said
did say
that.
that.
So he admitted
He said,
it.
I was not for the money. I was not after the money because that quote unquote, not quote unquote,
was after
that I was not after the money, that I knew that how much I'm going to get. Well, in other words, they gave me the money.
No. When you're invited to join the board, they tell you what your compensation is going to be. He didn't even attend a lot of the meetings, and he certainly didn't speak the Ukrainian language. So it was just a
Okay, now,
payment for access
Can we or
to
can
Vice
we not?
President Biden.
Can we or can we not confirm one fact?
Yes, sir.
Had Hunter Biden not been the son of Joe Biden, would that happen?
Never.
Never,
Impossible.
right?
Never.
Exactly like the same thing. Jack Chow, without a father like Joe Biden,
Right.
has to stay here. Of course, I'm happy staying here.
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
happy staying. I'm very happy staying here. Right?
And I'm
so
not-
now,
Yeah.
to the question that the assignment without Joe Biden being the father would not be possible, right?
Impossible. And also, I'm not sure whether this is how important it is or whatever, but you know, when you're a big company and you want to have board members, you want to have them pretty clean.
All right,
people.
all right.
But don't forget, Hunter Biden
My
was
third
thrown
question.
out of the military
My third
for
question.
drug abuse.
My third question. Unfortunately, Joe Biden and Donald Trump happen to be competitors to each other.
That's this year, not in 2016.
No. And
that's what it was about.
Let's back up a little bit. Don't,
Yes, sir.
there is no hurry, right? Don't
yeah.
push, right? So suppose, let's assume that Hunter Biden, no, not Hunter Biden, Joe Biden and Donald Trump all belong to Republicans.
Sure.
Let's assume that, right? So would it be proper for the benefit of the United States to push forward an investigation or something that would find if our officials, elected officials, are corrupting?
Of course, it is. It is a job of our civilization, the United States of America, to identify corruption, and if it exists and there are criminal acts, to prosecute and put in jail and punish people that perform the. There's a lot of
Thank you for
congressmen
the
and
answer.
senators
Thank you for
that
the
have
answer.
done that.
I'm very kind of like, when I think babyish.
And I
All
love
right?
your.
I
your
only
baby.
take the baby steps one by one,
Yeah.
like a toddler. However, I want to go there, I go there.
Yeah,
Maybe slow, but
we're there.
walk step by step,
Right.
in a baby step, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, had Biden, had Joe Biden been with Donald Trump, the same Republican though, you were saying the investigation is still legit.
Of course it is, because fighting corruption,
No.
identifying crime is always legit.
Yeah, just for justice.
Always.
Anybody, any officials,
Yeah.
right, who are corrupted.
See, and what the
Right.
what the
Investigation is necessary.
and what the radical leftists are saying is that
No.
well,
Forget
well,
left or right. No. Forget. Let's
Okay,
still
all right.
follow the baby step.
All right.
Yeah. Follow my baby step. Yes or no to go invest.
Yes.
Very good. All right, my friend. Let's take another break. A very short break. We'll be right back to follow my baby step. I'm toddling away to my target. I will get there, maybe slow. However, I would say every step, my baby step, is legit. All right, so
They are.
we'll be right back, please.
Everything is expected and straight. It's like it seems wrong ways.
My name is Paul James. I host English news and
and a Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, lovely audiences, my dear fellow Americans. And today is the day that we all kind of like feel necessary to talk about some politics.
Yeah, every day.
Even the grandpa kind of person who cares no politics at all would all of a sudden find out, oh, something is happening.
Something big is happening.
Something is happening, all right? Anyway, with the show today, we're talking about our weekly update. Even though weekly update, I would say this is the annual update because it's one big thing happening now.
It's a historical update.
It's not popping up all of a sudden. It's in preparation, been cooking for quite some time. Right.
It has.
I believe
Over
that
3 years.
on the global Earth, in the circle of the human population, nobody hasn't heard a word called impeachment.
Well,
Am I right?
there's a lot of misunderstanding. You hear the word, but they don't know what it means. We know what it means.
Yeah, impeachment, right?
There's no
okay,
guilt or
talking about
innocence.
that, I was taking some baby steps to find one by one step by step, to get to the point, right? Now we confirm, number one, that Hunter Biden did not have the knowledge.
Yes.
And for him to get that assignment, though, there must be something.
Yeah.
Number one, all right? And number two, it is legit to investigate to find out what's behind.
You
right?
know-
Number three, I'm asking you, had Joe Biden been a Republican, same as Donald Trump, though, is it or is it not legit to go ahead to invest to find out why your son, not Jack Shaw,
Right.
being taken as a member on that board?
Yeah, absolutely.
Am I
Goes
right?
all the way back to when Richard Nixon was president, the Republicans and the Democrats both pursued the knowledge on Watergate, and
We'll
he
get
ended
to
up
Richard Nixon
resigning.
later, right?
Right, but it's the same thing.
Yeah, go back to my baby step.
Yeah.
Right? The baby step. My baby step number 4
Okay.
is to ask you, right? By your Constitution, is our President of the United States entitled to sometimes, when necessary, to use some leverage to do something that will benefit the United States? For example, anti-corruption will benefit the United States.
As
right?
it should.
Okay, for that purpose, though, to use the leverage, that leverage to get to the point, right?
Yeah.
Point is that, okay, now you go ahead, help me with the investigation. So do you think that is against the Constitution? What?
No, not at all. The president's job in everything he does is to, number one, protect us from enemies taking over our country, and two, to make the life of the American citizens more pleasant, more financially responsible, and so his
Don't
job,
forget.
everything he does is
Don't
to
forget.
benefit America.
Don't forget.
Everything.
Inside the text of oath, there is all a term.
That's true.
Enemies, domestic or foreign.
Right, exactly.
I don't know the sequence.
Right.
Is it
I can't
foreign
recite
or
it.
domestic?
Right. But that's very clear. Okay?
But domestic includes
us.
includes corruption. Am I
Right,
right?
right.
Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, my corruption, your corruption, somebody else's corruption, our corruptions are different because they're partisanship.
No. Corruption's corruption.
Corruptions are corruptions, right?
Yeah.
So a president of the United States is entitled to work on anti-corruption, right?
He's not entitled. It's his job. It's his job.
So that's why I'm asking,
Yeah.
by doing my fourth baby step, is
Yes, sir.
that is it legit for a president of the United States to use the power as a leverage, right,
And that's-
to get to the point?
And that's what we're doing right now in certain trade negotiations
Say,
with various
hey,
countries.
you go ahead, help me with the anti-corruption thing,
Right.
all right, and I'll give you the support.
Because, see, that's the first president of Ukraine that has stated he wants to fight corruption in his own country. All the previous presidents have been part of the corruption or leading the corruption. They're previous presidents.
Okay, now
It's a
my
corrupt
baby
country.
step number 5.
Okay.
Right. Unfortunately, Joe Biden, Donald Trump happen to be different partisans.
It's just a coincidence.
right?
Yeah.
Right. Coincidentally, they belong to a different group.
Right.
Right. So does that stop justice?
Well, see, this is what.
Answer my question.
No.
Does that stop justice?
Let me make this statement, which will answer it perfectly. The people they're saying, well, you can't investigate Biden because he's running against Trump or something, but so they're saying he should be immune from any investigation, no matter how corrupt or criminal he is. That's just a ridiculous concept. We are all there subject to investigation if we're criminals and corrupt. And so there is no immunity just because you're running. Like say I go kill people, then I say, okay, well, I'm running for president, so you can't charge me with anything. It's insanity.
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah.
So
it's
you
just
and I
that
on the
simple.
same page.
Yes, we are.
That means a yes,
Maybe step
and that
6.
means a yes
Yeah.
on my question number 5.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
It is legit to investigation, to go ahead with the investigation regardless of partisan.
It is mandatory.
When it does happen coincidentally,
Yeah.
as political virals,
Yeah.
between political virus,
Yeah.
people have to understand this has nothing to do with partisanship.
No, it doesn't. The investigation of criminality or corruption is purely a legal responsibility and nothing to do with Democrats or Republicans.
Otherwise, you're talking about, he's running, okay, he's immune.
Yeah, nobody's immune.
All right, he's immune. All right?
Yeah.
Okay, do not do anything. If you are attacking Joe Biden,
Yeah.
or if you are attacking Donald Trump, you are helping their opponents.
Well, only as a byproduct. I mean,
I know.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Well, my quote unquote, if I say the following,
Yeah,
do not help, right? Do not help Joe Biden.
yeah,
If you will help Joe Biden, meaning that you go against Donald Trump, and vice versa.
Well, you
do not help Donald Trump. If you do so, you mean to attack Joe Biden.
you go against the soul of
Politically.
America, which is the rule of law. They want to overrule the rule of law. The law must prevail, or we lose our freedom and we lose our soul. The
Okay,
law
now,
must prevail.
In the least sense.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Donald Trump, if he had been smart enough, he would stay away from it, from the investigation. Let somebody else do it.
He would have been irresponsible to do that.
I know. No.
Yeah, right.
Had he been smarter,
Yeah.
here's my viral.
Yeah.
I'll just step out. I'll just step out with the whole thing for suspicion
Right.
of a political attack.
But that's smart. It's cowardice. It's cowardice. Trump
no.
would have been coward.
Forget giving
What's true?
giving analysis of their cowardness whatsoever.
Okay.
Had he been smarter enough or smarter than what he did, though, he would have backed up. He would have backed up.
Well, if he didn't look after corruption, if it exists, then he would have been an associate of corruption. He would have been corrupt himself if he didn't do his job.
All right, very good.
In my opinion.
So he did not corrupt himself.
No, because he's committed to serving the people of America,
Okay, all right.
Republicans and Democrats, because everybody benefits from a good economy
So
and military
by
safety.
following my baby step, little step one time, one time though, are we not clear with the picture?
I believe so. And I mean, that's why I'm expressing myself today, because I'm very, very sad. This day is going to go down a day in infamy, just like Pearl Harbor did, as espoused by President Roosevelt at that time. This is a day that is very damaging to the function of our democracy and republic.
Let's flip over. Let's see the other side of the coin. On the other side of the coin, though, is are the Democrats helping Joe Biden do it?
Biden's one of their candidates. I actually don't think he's going to end up being their candidate, but maybe he will be. I think he does have challenges due to his age and the gaffes and the things he says that are pretty stupid. Now, I'm pretty good at saying stupid things sometimes, but, and I will admit it and demean myself. But he forgets what state he's in, just things like that. Now, I don't dislike him for that. I'm just not sure it qualifies him very well. And he's 70. He would be 78 or 79 on inauguration day in January 2021. And then there's rumors that he'll only want to run for one term. He'd be the oldest gentleman elected, but I don't think he's going to get it, but we'll find out. Okay.
All right, my dear friends, let's take another moment out. We come back to wrap everything, except, one thing that we did not have time to do. That is the letter that Donald Trump wrote 2 days ago to Nancy Pelosi. Let's see what they exchange in the letter. So stay with us.
Everything
Rebound.
expected.
We continue to work
It's
on
like
it now.
seeing John Wayne.
My name is Paul James. I host English news every morning.
And a Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to the East-West Show that is exclusively sponsored by Wolfers, the Belgian royal family designated brand of jewelry with 400 years of glorious history and hand-forged by 10 generations of master craftsmen on the global earth. Together, the name Wolfers stand for testimony to the spectacular and share of the royal glory. Back to the show. There was a letter 2 days ago sent by Donald Trump to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, right? Oh, by the way, let's update ourselves or our audiences
Yes, sir.
with the House seats.
Okay.
Yeah. How do we divide how the House seats are divided, please?
Well, just by either Republican, Democrat, or some independents. There are people that have been declared themselves to be independents, not a committed Republican, Democrat. But then it all depends who they caucus with. And the independents, right at this point, I think, are caucusing with the
No,
Democrats.
let's talk about the House.
Yeah.
And last time I checked, it was 197
The
for
Republicans.
Republican,
Okay.
233 for Democrat,
Okay.
and with one independent,
Yeah, one or two, something like that. And it adds up to 535.
and with 4 absentees.
Okay.
So 435
Yeah.
minus 4,
Yeah.
minus 1, so there's a 430.
Okay.
Of the 430, we have 233 versus the 197.
Okay.
Do you know any among the Democrats that will likely vote no on the impeachment?
Well, there is one gentleman, I think his name is Van Drew, who has stated he's going to switch parties from Democrat to Republican in opposition to the impeachment. And there's 31 Democrat Congress people that were elected and replaced Republicans in that last election. We got really hurt, we being, I think, America, in that last election. And you know, right now, when even Adam Schiff was in LA yesterday, another congressperson was in Arizona, and when they went into a place to talk, people were saying, you know, we are not supporting impeachment, and you are doing what is harmful to America. So there's feedback coming back to these people now. That's powerful.
In other words, among the 233,
Yeah.
is there a handful or more than a handful that will vote no?
I think there's probably up to 5 of that people that are freshmen, you know, in Congress. And it was their first term in Congress. They replaced the Republican, and they pretty much know they will not be reelected if they vote for impeachment. I think there's a tremendous chance, and I hope and pray for it every day, that the Republicans will take back the House in 2020.
Yeah.
It's we need the House
That's
back.
a different story. Let's talk about the fact.
But that's what
But right now, I mean, the significance of doing the number count is that I want a prediction about how we want to pass the resolution for today.
I'd say maybe up to 5 Democrats will vote against it.
And then there's still majority. Majority
vote.
vote.
220 something to maybe 200 or 202.
All right, okay. It is very likely that they will make it a resolution to move ahead to Senate.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Very probable.
From here to Senate, though, let's see the seating of the Senate.
Yes, sir.
So, how much was the last time you checked?
Well, there's 100 senators, okay? For President Trump to be found guilty and removed from office, you need 2/3 or 67 of the senators to vote to throw him out of office, okay? Guilty, you're gone. And we've got 51, 52, 53 Republicans in there. And so you need about 20 Republicans to vote to throw Trump out of office. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And Mitch McConnell, who runs the Speaker of the Senate, he's got a lot of power. And there's like 3 things that could happen. They could actually vote to acquit him right away.
Last time I checked, there was 53 Republicans versus the 45 Democrats.
47 probably.
No, 45.
Or 2 independents?
2 independents.
Because it's got to add up to 100.
However, the 2 independents voted on the caucus lines of Democrats.
Okay, that's fine, yeah.
Now, probably 47.
So 53, yeah.
No, 47, right? Now, is it 53 versus the 47?
So to get from 47 to 67, which you'd need to throw the president out, you'd need 20 Republicans.
Yeah.
Ain't going to
happen. From 47 to 27. Yes.
Yeah.
27.
Yeah.
You'd
have to have 20 Republicans vote to remove president.
Do you think any likely chance that they will collect 20 Republican votes?
0.
0.
I would be willing to put my life on it.
I would say that the Democratic Party knows that the Senate will not pass it.
They're sort of willing to
right? The Senate majority will not approve it.
They're ruining their own party.
Knowingly, much so, that much so, why are they still doing it?
Because the hatred is blind, and they refuse to accept the fact that it's damaging their party, damaging the country, and it's fictitious lynching of our president. It's very sad what they're doing, because it makes no common sense. Common sense, work with the president, make everything better, and then run for office look, we worked with the president.
Let's check about a few lines of the Donald Trump letter.
Oh, they're pretty serious.
This morning I came across one piece of Associated Press that Donald Trump says, I have done nothing wrong. I'm not wrong, and the whole thing is a mess.
But let me state why he wrote this, okay? He wrote this, which I agree with every word in there, by the way, but he wrote it to put in the congressional records and the history of America exactly the impact of what is happening now and what the president's opinion is of this process that is abnormal and unconstitutional and probably partially illegal. And so he wants to record in history what his position is and what he sees them doing. Historians will review this later, and this will be a very dark day. What the Democrats are doing right now will be a very dark day in history of America.
And then he says it for the record.
For the record.
For the record, anyway, right? So, any famous quote?
Well, there's a
Let's
lot.
entertain.
It is, yes.
Let's entertain our audiences with a few of his lines.
Well, one thing he says is the impeachment represents an unprecedented and unconstitutional abuse of power by Democrat lawmakers, unequaled in nearly 2.5 centuries of American legislative history. You have cheapened the importance of the very ugly word impeachment. Impeachment is an ugly word, by the way. And then this is very big. By proceeding with your invalid impeachment, you are violating your oaths of office. You are breaking your allegiance to the Constitution, which I have allegiance to the Constitution, and you are declaring open war on American democracy. Now, that phrase, you are declaring open war, Nancy Pelosi, on American democracy, is being talked about every day, all day on TV now.
And on my record, he says this.
Yes, sir.
He says, referring to the impeachment,
Yeah.
said bringing pain and suffering to our public for your own selfish, personal, political, and partisan gain.
Yes. And, you know, that's a big statement. It's not
That is a big
following.
statement,
It's
yeah.
a big statement, okay? You know, he made one other comment, which I've studied a lot about the Salem witch trials, Jack, which was very serious, sad part of American history. More due process was afforded to those accused at the Salem witch trial. They did not allow President Trump to even participate and have his representatives in these secret meetings that Adam Schiff held in the basement, just like the Stalinists did in Russia, to collude to destroy our president.
I know. One thing will benefit him probably.
It will.
That throughout the impeachment process, everything,
Yeah.
people see a clearer picture of Donald Trump.
Well, and the economy is. We lead the world economically by so much now. It's unbelievable. Europe's in tatters. Europe is not doing
Look
well.
at a negotiation with Canada and Mexico.
He's the only one that could pull it off.
Yeah, sure.
He's the only one that could pull it off with China. He's pulling it off because he never stops. He just keeps representing
And
the
recently
people.
with China, there is some improvement.
We're praying for phase one to
Yeah.
be signed within maybe a month or something. There are challenges with phase one. I'm sure we'll discuss that on some show. But you know, if we really get both China and America can benefit from this. Okay, China can benefit from this. We need to have a win-win, not a win-lose. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
All right, my dear friends, so much as the discussion about the impeachment. I believe that we have done a lot. I believe that by the analysis step by step, especially by following my baby step now, I think that we have seen what we have seen is a clearer picture. No suspicion at all. Politically, we still have what we have, and Donald Trump, even though upset, remains the president of the United States. Anyway,
Yes, sir.
all right. So
Thank you, Jack.
we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Jack.